What if I told you that a medium-sized school district in rural Alabama created the blueprint for transitioning to the Google Workspace for education? Nestled outside of Huntsville, Alabama, Morgan County School District has approximately 7,500 students from pre-K through K-12 across 18 schools and one alternative school. Huntsville, which is renowned for its technology in the aerospace and defense industry, is the home to NASA Space Camp. To give you an idea of the type of socioeconomic status of the area, one proud Morgan County High School principal boasted that his vocational school is well known for the type of training that produces the blue-collar and high-skilled technicians who repair the wings on planes and paint the space-bound rockets, not engineer them. Ripe with Southern hospitality, hearty barbecue, and a scenic landscape, from a national perspective, Morgan County is a Goldilocks district. Not too large, not too small, some displays of means as well as economic hardship. What is extraordinary about Morgan County is that not only was it ahead of the curve for schools transitioning to the Google Workspace for education, but that it made the switch with relative ease.
When I took this position, they had just purchased a server and the software to continue with Microsoft Outlook, but we'd had a lot of issues with Microsoft Exchange. At that time, security was an issue, but not as it has become. So I made the decision in talking with my staff, which was one person at the time, about what our options would be. And we looked at Google and we looked at what it would offer and what it would offer in the future. At that time, its availability or its features was not as rich as it is today. But it did offer that ability to monitor and filter messages and prevent spam quite a bit better than Outlook. And the management part of Google was so much lower. Basically, you put it in place and you could kind of forget about it. I tell people all the time, the big difference is I had one person on staff at that time to try to help manage it. And Google had teams of people that could help protect students and protect email and any of the things that we were doing. So I pulled the trigger, if you will, at that time, and we made the decision to go with Google, and the rest is kind of history, if you will. And over the last 12 years, Google has continued to grow in the applications that it has available, the workspace that it has today with the Google Meets and Google Calendaring, the document creations, and it just became the standard platform that we could really use in the classroom.
Now, years after making the move to the Google Workspace for education, which includes Gmail, Contacts, Calendar, Meet, Chat, Docs, Drive, Slides, Forms, Sheets, Vault, and more, Morgan County counts the decision to transition as one of its best. The impetus for the change came a few years ago when Morgan County was looking for a comprehensive set of cost-saving IT tools that were more secure and accessible to all students.
And then I got to thinking, okay, if we do this, how do I make it happen? How do I get the funding? How do I get the other resources? So I thought, I need a meeting. I need a meeting with my superintendent and our chief financial officer. I sat down, I laid out a plan, and I looked at a phased-in approach, and I looked at different grade level sets. I started one year with maybe third grade, and then eighth grade, and then 10th grade, something to that effect. And then the next year, we just keep growing, grade level by grade level, and eventually we have it across the system. After we made the decision that we were going to start one-to-one deployment, that really kicked it out there and got things going in the classroom quite a bit. Teachers understood that it was not about the device, but it's about the platform. And when the pandemic hit, it just became so much obvious that having those pieces of the puzzle put in place. Google was nice enough that we continued to have this ability to do Google Meets with a large scale number of students, and that was very beneficial to us. So much to the point that as we came out of the pandemic and some of those abilities with Google was ending due to the ending of the pandemic, we we decided we needed to purchase the Google Workspace for Education, which was an add-on and was tremendous help to us because now we have Google Meets that can have a large number of students and participants, so many more features with it, the analytics that we can do with it and see what our students and teachers are doing.
As in the rest of life, change is the one constant in education technology. Like starting a new diet or habit, resistance can be immense to systemic change, even though the benefits are often tremendous.
My experience with technology has shown me that the only true way to integrate it in the classroom is for that classroom teacher to see the benefits of it. I have sat in so many trainings and spent so many hours in trainings, and it's not near the benefit of when that classroom teacher actually does it. The biggest mistake anyone can make with technology is we do a training today and then we integrate and implement it 45 days from now. I use a model of let's put it out there, let's get some of our champions using it, bring them in, show them what it is, let them talk about it, start building capacity within the school building itself about what that product is and how it works. And then we circle back after that soft launch, if you will, and we circle back and we bring people back in, what's working, what's not working, what can we do better, and then we train it. Because when a teacher sees someone across the hall or next door using something and it's helping them, they get to leave school at 3:30 every day and they're still there at 5. They're like, how come they get to leave it and they get to have that conversation? Well, that's because I'm using this or that to do my grading, and it's so much easier. Then that teacher wants to learn. And the key component at that time, you were talking about $700 or $800 per device for a laptop. That was not feasible. It just was not feasible at that time. But you could, as soon as Chromebooks came out, were around $200. Well, that's a huge difference, especially when a set of textbooks can cost $300 to $400.
Morgan County first used Google's complementary platforms, but has since incorporated paid aspects of Google's Workspace for Education, but is still experiencing incredible savings within its overall IT budget.
Leadership has to understand that in this world of work today, students are going to be working from home. They may be working from different cities, and they've got to compete on a global market. And when you talk about budgeting or you look at financing technology, it's a non-issue. It's like having teachers. Your students have got to come out of the classroom able to compete. And if you say no to technology, if you say no to one-to-one, you're just handicapping your students. They are going to be competing against those that have been using, like my students, for the past 6 or 7 years. And that's all due, again, to trying to integrate all these different parts, from gamification to cloud-based services to cybersecurity to partners such as Bloom and working with Google, putting everything together so that we get the quality of student leaving our schools that our community and taxpayers expect.